Day 3 of the federal government shutdown. I'm sitting down today with a local law expert and former congressman who's here to give us some insight into the inner workings of Capitol Hill. Joe Cunningham here in our studio with us today. Congressman, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
You were involved in the last government shutdown. You were in Congress at the time. Tell me, what is it like on Capitol Hill when everything comes to a halt?
Well, I mean, no one's working up there right now on the House side. They're taking some votes on the Senate side, but the real impact is being felt right here at home. When I was sworn in 2019, I walked into what would become the longest government shutdown. It's like 35 days. I remember my first week on the job, I was standing in front of the Coast Guard and taking questions as to when will the government reopen? When can we expect to receive a paycheck? So, you know, as disastrous as it is up in Washington, D.C., it's having even more dire consequences here in the Low Country.
And right now, during this period of inactivity, are the sides coming together and trying to negotiate? Are they just sitting back waiting to see who's going to blink first?
Unfortunately, I think it's the latter. I mean, the Senate is currently having votes right now, trying to push a couple of CRs, but nothing seems to be moving forward. And you get both sides at an impasse, and hoping that they can find some common ground. But that seems to be more and more rare these days in D.C.
Now, there are some politicians, some congressmen and senators as well, who've said they're not going to take pay while the government is shut down, which I guess is an honorable or noble thing to do. Do you think that should be the case?
After they break it, right? They're saying that.
Well, they're saying during the shutdown, they're not going to take any pay.
And look, I think, the chaos that we're seeing in D.C. has been building for a long time, obviously, and that's why people vote, that's why people have elections. I don't think they should be taking their pay, but at the same time, they should not have caused this in the first place. And it's just an unfortunate state of our politics right now.
And when you were there, what was the atmosphere really like, though? Was it nerve-wracking? Were your constituents calling and impressing upon you the need to get a deal done? Does it affect regular, everyday people, as you alluded to, or is it just the federal employees?
I mean, look, it's billions of dollars in GDP per week. You think about it here in the Low Country. A family wants to drive down and go to Fort Sumter, but our parks will be closed. So they cancel the trip, they cancel their hotel, they cancel their dinner reservation at Halls or Lake Farfalle. Like, it impacts our local economy, especially this one that relies so much on tourism and our history here in Charleston. But it also impacts people's daily lives. Like I said, if you go beyond, any shutdown is terrible, but if you go beyond pay periods or start missing bills, and where so many Americans live paycheck to paycheck, that's when it really starts putting the squeeze on.
What some people may not realize when it comes to this is that Republicans control the House, Republicans control the Senate, and Republicans control the White House. If Republicans have so much control, how do we get to this point where the government is shut down?
I mean, right now you got both sides doing this, right? It's their fault. In the Senate, you got to get the 60 votes, and so the Senate can't pass this without support from Democrats. So, look, I mean, it stands to reason you should have some buy-in. You should have both parties working together on any type of spending bill, but neither side appears to be willing to budge at this point.
And real quickly, as a strategy, going with this option to shut down the government, is it a useful political strategy, or does it have some serious blowback, or not so much?
I think come midterms, no one will be walking into a voting booth, or few people will be walking into a voting booth casting their vote based upon who they believe shut the government down. I think it's going to be on health care, I think it's going to be on immigration, or some other pocketbook issue. This will be probably in the rearview mirror as fast as our news cycles move. All right.
Congressman Joe Cunningham, now lawyer Cunningham, thank you so much for being here with us and answering these questions and giving us some behind the scenes of Capitol Hill. In the meantime, we will have more for you coming up in just a few moments.